So we absolutely have to go ahead and touch on what we're likely to be seeing take place for the markets for tomorrow. Now, of course, we have to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in the rain, right? That's just what the weather is out here. It's very volatile, much like what we're going to be seeing for tomorrow in the markets. And for anyone wondering, well, why is the market likely to be very volatile? Well, we have something very interesting taking place, right? Tomorrow, we have the CPI report coming out, which is, of course, not that interesting, but it's also the same day where we're getting an update on monetary policy. Now, I actually Googled how rare this is, and this has only happened 13 times within the last 16 years. So, all the way since 2008. Now, granted, we have 8 meetings per year in regards to the Federal Reserve. And so this only happening 13 times in the last 16 years means that it has only really taken place about 10% of the times within the last 16 years. So definitely something pretty interesting. Now, what we have here is interesting from the JP Morgan trade desk, and they believe that one of the main reasons it's going to be very volatile is because even if we have a positive CPI report, we may end up having the Federal Reserve and what they say kind of reverse the impacts of what takes place with the CPI report. Now, the reason that is kind of like what they're assuming is because of this. Now, of course, we talked about within the Push and Profit private group a couple of weeks ago how the Central Bank of Canada was the first to start hiking in this rate cycle, and then all the other central banks kind of followed suit, and that they were likely to be the first ones to cut. And we predicted how in the last meeting they were going to be the first ones to cut, and they did. The following day, we had the European Central Bank cut as well. And so now we have 2 central banks cutting. Now, I don't believe, and also I'm assuming here that, the people over at JP Morgan, they don't believe that the, Central Bank of America, which is the Federal Reserve, is going to start cutting rates. I don't believe they're going to do so. And so that's why what they say is going to be scrutinized, right? What they end up saying. Are they going to continue with the narrative of higher for longer, or are they going to kind of just adjust some of the wording? And so this is going to be a huge day for tomorrow. We're going to have this, inflationary report, and then the Fed is going to have to come up with, their decision and then talk about it in a press conference with Jerome Powell. Now, JP Morgan, and we have this chart right over here, the people over at JP Morgan, they have a 40% probability that the May CPI month-over-month reading is going to fall somewhere between 0.3% to 0.35% or 0.35%, and that's likely to cause anywhere of a move of down 0.75% or a 75 basis point gain. And so that's clearly like saying, look, it could go either way, which is just extremely why I believe tomorrow is going to be very volatile. Right now, of course, it's likely to be volatile simply because we have this economic report. We also have the Federal Reserve, and also because there's not much going on for today. Today the market's open. Yeah, we're seeing the S&P 500 kind of climb up, but nothing crazy is taking place. Not like what we've seen recently with Roaring Kitty and GameStop and that whole Sega over there. But it's been a relatively quiet day, and this is kind of what we talked about in previous videos. I have a video that you guys can check out right over here talking about the best days to participate in the market. And days like this, where there's nothing going on, of course, the only thing going on is just a bunch of rain. But other than that, actually what's taking place in the market, very slow day, very mundane, nothing special. But that's most likely because market participants are awaiting for what's actually going to take place tomorrow. People... the people in the market, they want to see and assess the data before they actually start moving their capital all around. And of course, once you have capital shifting in and out of the market, well, that's what causes volatility. So definitely an interesting day for tomorrow. I'll go ahead and definitely break it down within the Push and Profit private group, as I often do. I already shared with them what my predictions are for July, and we're pretty much almost exactly to where I called it out. Of course, I'm not going to share that publicly here. If you guys are interested in joining, it's going to be the first link in the description down below. But with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below on your best guess in regards to the CPI report, and also what we hear from Jerome Powell, or Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, I'm so used to just saying Powell, but Fed Chairman Jerome Powell in his speech or conference for tomorrow. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. I don't think that they're going to cut at all, but they may start to change your tune. But you guys let me know, and hopefully you guys are not caught up in the rain like I am over here just in the middle of nowhere. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.